Me personally, I like the Aristotle theme. I like that bold style. And then click on the paint bucket to choose like the actual color scheme that you want. I like this like pale purple color. When I teach design to students, I tell them to really just stick with like a 3-color color scheme. Otherwise, things start to get a little crazy looking. From here, I can change my page title. I'm just going to call it my name. And if I hit return, I can create like a really nice looking little subheading. And since like you really want to use all the options that you possibly have when you're working with Google Sites, because there's not that many. So I'm gonna go up here, look at all the text tools, and I'm going to center this text so it looks really nice. For the header type, I think for that homepage, a lot of times just using like starting with a cover looks the best, so that it's like really clean when you first go onto the site. Not always, but sometimes that looks nice. And I'm going to change the background image as well. One thing that I think is great about Google Sites is you can just search for a color in Google, select the color that you want, and that will show up as the background. Sometimes when people make websites, maybe on the homepage they want to include a link to their social media account or like a link to their contact information. And so to do that, you can go up to Insert Images. I'll go to Select and again do a Google image search. And on my homepage, I want to add a link that directly links people onto my YouTube account. So I'm just going to do a search for like a little YouTube icon. Insert that. It comes out really big, so to resize, I'm going to hold down the Shift key to keep the size dimensions the same. Okay. And then I'm going to move that into the middle to sort of center it a little bit. And from here, I can just insert a link by copy pasting my YouTube channel URL. Something else that people might like to do is work with buttons. And that's another great way to add interesting looking links. So here I'm gonna show how to do something else. Let's say you want like a direct link to your like contact information. What you can do is type in with the link mail to, and then your email address. I can click insert. Let's just adjust these settings before I show you what this does. Different options. Again, like really pay attention to the design. That's super important. And again, right now I don't want this to randomly be white at the bottom, so I'm gonna select image again, search for a black background, and now it just like looks seamless, like one page. And let's see what that looks like in preview. So a really nice, simple homepage. I scroll down. I can see this YouTube icon. If I click on it, it brings me to my YouTube channel. That's convenient. And I also see this special email like contact button. And if I click on this, what it does is it opens up my mail app with a like pre-addressed email to my email address. So that's a cool thing to do. Okay, next up, I'm gonna enter in my site name. It'll just be my name too, because I can't think of anything else for this little site. And there are some really useful settings here if you click Add Logo. And these settings are the same as these settings that you can access up here as well. So add my logo. Let's say I have like a brand image for my site that I'm creating. I'm gonna click Upload. And I have this JPEG that I want to use. It's just of this rabbit. But this is my brand image to add. But oh no, it looks so bad with that white background. So when I teach Google Sites in my classes, I always make sure to teach it after I teach something with like photo editing, so that students are able to make these like edits to the images that they're uploading onto their site. And there are so many ways to like erase a white background. But one thing that I really like, I teach this program called Photopea. It's pretty identical to Photoshop, but web-based and free. And I have another video in my YouTube channel on how to use Photopea if you're curious about doing that. But I've already gone in, I have erased the background, saved it as a PNG file that enables me to have a transparent background. I'm gonna upload that. And now it looks so nice and clean on my website. The favicon is another interesting thing to do. The favicon is this little icon up here. You can see other websites, they have their own like brand image for that also. So you can just upload that same image there. It doesn't immediately show up on my site. That's just because you need to like clear the cache in your browser, and then it will come up. There's some other useful settings here too. I'm gonna go over them. We'll go over custom domains next. And so domain-wise, if I click publish, this is the domain, okay? sites.google.com/Julia Benton. But that's, like, if that's not what you actually want, you can go back into your settings and start your setup. You can use a domain from a third party, so if you've already bought one from like a different website. Otherwise, buy your domain, and I'll walk you through how to do that. So maybe I want my website to go directly to my name, like juliaebenton.com. Here it is, exact match, looks good. I could just buy this right here for $12 a year, and they just send me a bill to my email every year for $12, however long I want to own that domain for. I'm not gonna buy that though, although great thing to do sometimes. And there's one other setting that I think is useful to go over, but before we do that, I need to add another page. So I'm just gonna go to pages, new page. I'm gonna call this page other page. There it is, it shows up at the top. While we're on pages, something that I think is often overlooked is adding a new link page. So you could add a page that directly brings you to like an external site as well. So like, for example, you could add a new page here that links you to your YouTube account. Okay, and then back in our settings here, where is this? Oh, under navigation. So the default is to have your pages there at the top. You can also make them on the side. That's an interesting thing to experiment with design-wise. And you can also make that banner, let me close this, you can also make that banner a different color. Right now, transparent, you could make it white, maybe you have a different color background, and then you might want it to be black. That looks pretty good. Okay, and we'll go over some other things. So I'm on my other page right now. I want the header to be different. It should just be like a banner or title for your like other pages that aren't your home page. And if we go to insert, there's so many very useful layouts that you can add. Like easily add text, easily add images here, easily change the section background to match your specific color scheme. And if we scroll down here in insert, there are so many interesting options. I love the image carousel, it looks so nice. You can just add your images. I'll center it a little bit. There we go. And if we go up to preview, oh, hold on. Okay, it needs a second to save. Try it again. If we go up to preview, oh no, it's still not here. Come on. Okay, go up to preview. Here it is. It's a really nice little slideshow. I think that looks really good. And you also have some interesting options in that image carousel. So the settings are up here, and you could like hide those dots, make it auto start, and just like make it transition really slowly automatically. That could look pretty cool. Something to think about. Another one of these settings that I really like to add are dividers. They can keep your site looking really clean. You can't change the color or size of the divider without going in and editing the code, but still a nice thing to have. And then all of these other things down here, there's so many things that you can easily add into Google Sites to display work. I like the slides. I think it can display Google Slides really well. This is just one of my teaching slides from last year. And it shows your slide, and you can just really easily click through the slide while you're on your site. That's a nice way to display information. There's a lot of other things that you can add: sheets, forms, maps, calendars. All of these are really self-explanatory. Try experimenting with them if you haven't already. And up here, it's nice to just instead of randomly adding those things, you can really just stick with these layouts. Click this plus sign and just add things from here that go into a nice official layout already. So all the same options here, you can upload things from your drive, like docs or slides from here so that it's in one of the official layouts. Okay, and right now our other page layout, it looks so bad, it's so random. And so I really suggest, if you're not feeling confident with your page layout, just find another site, especially one made with Google Sites, that has a layout that you like, and sort of copy what they have going on. And when you're completely finished, go to publish your site, and that's it.